Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Football Manager 2017. Today we have a game against Morton, who we've actually faced once before. We were able to beat them 2-1. Where were they in this series here? Right over here. We beat them. This is actually our last win before we went on to kind of our losing streak over there. Now that was at home, and it was only a 2-1 victory. I don't remember if it was, felt super tight or not, but I mean, a one-goal game is always pretty tight. That was at home. We're now going to be playing them away, which makes things a little bit more challenging, perhaps. Looking at their scouting report that we've got over here, if we go and take a look at their tactics, for example, they mostly just play the 4-4-2. Against tactics face, there's nothing that really stands out. I mean, the only thing they've played against substantially is more 4-4-2 over here. And they actually do pretty well against that. Now, that being said, we have actually gone and crafted what is technically a 4-4-2, what the game is calling a 4-4-2, to try to counter that. The idea being very, very, very heavy middle presence so that we can send the ball up there, and a little bit more defensive on the two flanks to try to counter whatever they throw at us. Now, Crane's still been playing as a wing back instead of a fullback, as he's really comfortable in that role. We'll see how it goes. We're still going to go with a counter mentality over here, so hopefully, sit a little further back, deal with the flanks, but then when we get the possession again, hopefully send it straight up the middle and do that. Now, we don't actually have an exploit the middle set up over here. We could do that. Of course, if I do that, we haven't actually been working on this in the tactics, and as a result, this will drop our familiarity with the passing style. It says accomplished. Well, I mean, it was already pretty close to that. If I go and remove that, because that's really what we're aiming for. It doesn't really change much in terms of familiarity, and that's really what we're looking for. We're looking to punch up the middle, and hopefully do that while they have, two people on each of the flanks sitting a little bit wider that may or may not be quite as influential. Hopefully that doesn't collapse in my two fullbacks. I don't know. We're going to go ahead with this and see how it works. Hopefully we have crafted something to defeat 4-4-2 kind of situation. It's not the only way to go about things, but it is an way. One interesting thing we've got coming up is that the little stats that come up in between turns there, they do tend to go pretty fast, but as I was advancing time to this, I found out that I believe Robbie Crawford has the highest passing percentage in the entirety of the league, which feels pretty cool, actually. I think he's sitting at something like 91% successfully completed passes. Now, maybe he hasn't made that many passes, so it's, a low sampling pool, but I think we're going to be okay. So, we've met them once. We were victorious one time. It's very exciting. This referee looks to be quite light on the yellows, actually. Average of less than 2 per match. Last time we were sort of conscious of it, it was at 2.2. Still don't know, I didn't pay attention to the referee last match, who dropped like 1 million yellow cards. Now, one thing that is a little bit scary is that Andy Geegan over here is on a yellow card warning. If he does get one more yellow card, he will be suspended. There's not really much we can do about that, though, because in the Scottish League, that doesn't time out or go away or anything like that. So this is going to be present until he gets a yellow, at which point he will be suspended. Now, he has been suspended once this season already for getting a red card. I mean, in a sense, it was a double yellow in that match. I think there's a different terminology for it, but ultimately it's the same sort of thing. If we check the rules, though, yeah, so I guess that counts as a second red card in the season. Had he might have started the season with a red card or some damn thing like that. I don't remember exactly, because he's definitely banned for 2 matches from that, so I don't know what's what. So now this is going to be his 6th yellow card. So presumably this is the first 6 yellow cards, so his ban will only be for 1 match, but I don't know. I don't know if how they stack or do different things like that. I don't think he was suspended for a violent conduct or anything, although for all I know, there was something like that. Not sure. Anyway, I think we're going to go with this. Submit the team. We're going to go with this particular configuration. I did note I'm not starting Peter Murphy this time. I'd still promised him to do that, but, he's gotten a little bit of it. So now I'm going to bring in Magat to replace him. Magat did screw up last game pretty terribly, but I'm going to try to start my somewhat stronger players here, because I'm going to consider this to be a bit of a tougher match, since, again, we barely beat them last time, and they're only 8th in the league, but again, I feel that on paper, every other team in this league is stronger than we are. So the fact that they're only 8th in the league doesn't tell me that much. And again, this is an away game, which makes things considerably stronger. In fact, the odds maker think that Morton is definitely the favorite here, and I don't deny them too much. Alan Forrest is set to make his 100th league appearance for the club. Holy cow, that's amazing. I'm passionate about it. I'm delighted for him. He's a wonderful player and a fine example of the sort of person we want at the football club. Both teams come into this one on a spell of poor form. That's true. I mean, we did win our last match, thank goodness, but we were on a bad form before that. Although if we win this one, then we'll really get there. Layla, this reporter actually dislikes us, which is too bad. We're going to show that we want this more than they do. Yeah, sure. That sounds fine. All right, continued opposition opposition instructions, I should say. And let's see. I do want to do this, the tight marking of the 2 strikers. That is really going to be the sort of thing that we're looking for. And again, we're looking to, I'll probably mark both wingers and then put closing down instructions on the 2 fullback. I mean, they might not be playing in fullback mode. They might have a different instruction. But that's the sort of idea. If these guys are running up with the ball and looking to cross, we want to close them down pretty aggressively. So we're going to assume that this is sort of the standard kind of thing we're going to go with. The other thing with the these guys, if they've got like a real footedness preference and low maybe flair and creativity, I think that's one of the things where you can really abuse them for their poor footedness. Like Gary Oliver might be a good candidate for that. I don't know how much of a difference it does, and that's not the right person. This over here. But we're going to try that. All right, continued match. Listen, yes, we want... what do we want? I'm expecting a win from you today. It's true. And then I got faith in you. You can do it. For sure. I'm very nervous about this match, actually. I'm really nervous. A win would really take the sourness off of our recent performance. Although we're going into this with good morale. Thank goodness there. Weirdly enough, Craig Moore, who, while the rest of the team was miserable, he was sitting around with, like, amazing morale. He's only just okay. He scored last game. And he's only just okay today. So, I don't know what goes on with this guy. Oh, what's going on here? Their special ceremony, or this might be the sort of thing that happens all the time. They just don't always highlight it. All right, that's fine. So we're gonna be in the red kit today. This pitch looks a little bit rough here. God damn, what the hell's going on? Yeah, doesn't seem to be in high quality. I mean, maybe that's just visuals that is randomized, but it might be a sign that the pitch is a little bit rougher. Might lead to more injuries, which is something that we'll have to be a bit aware of. Okay, we got a bunch of clusters over here. Again, you can see them. They've got a couple people who are set a little bit wider. I don't like this one bit. Oh my god. MVP goalpost right there. Jesus. Holy crap. Yeah, that made me very, very, very unhappy. Now, I don't think I want to lock my... For crying out loud. I don't think I want to lock my fullbacks to forcibly mark the wings, because there's kind of a lot of possibilities. You could have the wingers out wide, you could have the fullbacks out wide. There's a lot of different attackers that can come out there, and I don't think I want to lock them, but maybe we're going to be too strongly outflanked. I think we've got a good offensive position, but what is this going to result in? What are you telling me here? Play more direct passing. Well, honestly, if we're playing the counter role, that may indeed be exactly the sort of strategy we want. The idea that you really push the ball up quickly via passing. Encourage your players to move up, when they don't have the ball, when they're off the ball, move up and get ready to take a pass quite a bit far forward. That is more countery. But we're playing mixed, and the counter strategy does increase the length of the passes a little bit by default. So, I don't know. I don't want to mess too much over here. Who knows? God, get the ball under control. Crane just dumps it there, and I can't blame him for that. I mean, at this point, this is not a positional thing. This is just like suffering under set pieces. Oh, yes, get it away. Oh, god damn it. Almost got it away. Drops down to 4th position. I mean, overall, we're still doing well in the league. But, yeah, that is unbelievably harsh. These guys, the other team feels like they're playing, like they're on fire. I mean, our possession is 57%, but their possession is all, like, right in front of the net all the time. I wonder if I should encourage more aggressive tackling. We have 2 fouls so far in 23 minutes and none on the other side. And it did look like the referee was potentially a little bit more passive. So, you know what? I will tell my people to get stuck in a bit more. Hopefully it doesn't lead to anything too bad. Oh my god, Thomas brilliantly positioned. Holy cow. And again, I don't know if you can hear the change in my voice when my arms go up, but it's like you have to put your arms up at that point. That was incredible. So a huge, this is Ralston from way back, just dumps it. Here's that direct play. Again, we don't have that instruction in there. But from way back, just sends it forward, and Thomas just like, oh, is this ball for me? Thank you. That looks like it went through the goalkeeper. Maybe not, just an angle thing, or it may be a visual thing. But holy cow, that was gorgeous. That was gorgeous. Harkins, Harkins, our all-star player, does, ooh, not very all-starry there as the ball gets kicked away directly to a Morton player. It's like Greensbach Morton or something like that. I don't remember the name of the team. It's like just shows up as Morton for short, and that seems pretty easy to do. Doherty's got the ball. Can pass it over to Harkins, who is able to get it around the defender to Forrest. Forrest barely has it in his feet, though, but he is able to hold on long enough to gain control and pass it without getting it taken away. Back to Forrest over here, over Gigan. So, let's take a look at what's going on, right, position-wise. We definitely do have the presence in the middle. It's pulling their defenders in. I'm wondering if we should still have Crane, you know, like really move forward to do the, you know, to look. I'm trying to think of, I don't know what the term would be in this particular scenario, like just moving forward and flanking. And what would that do to their position? Would that pull our defense too far out of the way? Which is what I'm worried about. The reason he's not attacking forward is because they've got a lot of potential for wide players that could go and do all sorts of crazy flanking. On the other hand, we are looking to mostly shut down their strikers. I mean, if Crane was out of position, it would open them up on the counterattack for crosses. But if we're right on top of their strikers, are they going to be able to successfully land the cross? I don't know. I mean, he's still on support. Wingback support. It's not like he's super mega passive. You know what? Let's not make the change. It's going to be fine. We do have exploit the middle. Maybe I'm going to take that off, actually. There might be too much there, not enough emphasis on the sides. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not complaining about things too much right now. Craig Moore. Oh, God. Craig, no, that was just a big fail. I don't know. That looked like that was just a failed goal kick. But it could have also been a great pass. Oh, that was close. The free kick into the top bar. Jeepers. Magat standing quite far forward over here for the corner. Harkins over to Thomas. Doesn't have a clear shot, though. Defense is sticking right to him like glue. Over to Moore. Oh, Forrest nicely open. Does get kicked away. Now, I'm wondering, like, are our people being marked too heavily? Is that possible? Like, if I were to counter our own strategy, what I would do is make sure that our 3 forward type people are getting stuck to like glue. And they don't need to play wide. Like, if they're playing narrow, they counter what we're doing. You know what? I'm going to tell Crane to move to be more aggressive and see how that goes. Be on an attacking roll. I mean, he's still there all the time, but it'll be interesting to see if that might open up a little bit more. So there's Crane. Keep an eye on him. I'm curious to see if this shifts him a bit. He's a little further forward and a little tighter in. Actually, he moves in very well there. And, oh my God, that is perfect. That is perfect. I mean, I'm not going to say this is a replica of every other play that's been coming up, right? Like, there's just different circumstances and things. But this forward move by Crane, he wasn't doing that sort of thing. He was lingering a little bit more out. And it's risky. If this fails, then all of a sudden McLean over here has got a straight shot up their right flank to attack us, right? So there's some really big inherent risk here, but Crane sees a massive, massive opening and just exploits it, even if he couldn't get the shot off, or he didn't get the shot. If he could have taken a shot, or instead he goes for the cross. Either way, there was a lot of opportunity there. I don't like the fact that there's a free kick on the other side, but it goes up and over for a goal kick. Okay. It was a rough start. We gave up the first goal. That was very, very, very frightening, but we are back in this, and in fact, ahead. Ooh, that's a little frightening, but he's not going to be able to get the shot off, and oh my God. Oh my God. That was terrifying. That was terrifying. Is that the second time? Did he just hit the crossbar again, right? That's the second time the crossbar saves the day. I don't know if we want to make any more defensive changes. I feel like I've got a lot of marking already done, and too much aggressive marking is a bit dangerous, but jeepers, that was a hell of a lot of things. I'm going to be passionate about this. Like, please, how things are going. Keep it up. Everyone's looking extremely delighted. Wonderful. I mean, sometimes there's risk of a bit of complacency here, but I think this is going to be all right. Get in there, kick some ass. Keep doing what you're doing. 2-1 lead over Crane, who moves it up a bit. And I thought he may have been trying to split in here over to Thomas. I assumed that would have been more of a risky pass, and he might have decided it was no-go. Might have required a bit more creativity as well, because it looked like a pretty good opening to me. More back to Harkins, who doesn't... Ooh! He does able to hold on to it a little bit longer, but looks like ultimately that play went nowhere. Over to Forrest. And keep an eye on Crane. I think it's very interesting. Look at that. See? And then way crossed, but no. Unfortunately, a little too close to the goaltender. But we do get a corner out of it, which is just great and fine. More with the corner kick. Does nothing. We'll have to do a throw in there. Another reset. Sarah tackling has been disappointment. It would be an understatement. Remove. Get stuck in. So, oh yeah, we're not winning a lot of tackles. You know what? I agree. We're going to remove get stuck in. Because our tackles... I mean, we've barely made any, honestly. That's actually... I didn't realize we're just not tackling very much. It's not a question of aggressive tackling or not. It just hasn't come up... Oh! Just over Moore's head. If I recall correctly, Moore's relatively tall and jumpy. Oh my god! That was a very nice little play. I mean, in the end, the shot was, a little too close and a little too straight directly at the goalkeeper, but that's a brilliant play. Also, I got to commend my team for their energy levels. Overall, keeping up pretty well. All right, so we're approaching 60-65 minutes. That's often a time I start to consider some of the subs. I think Gary Harkins is just getting a little bit older, and that's part of the reason he does run out of steam a little bit faster. Oh, between episodes, he did finish his his next level coaching certificate. So even after Gary stops being a player, we'll probably want to keep him around as a coach. He probably does a pretty good job doing that. I don't know if I want to sub him out yet. He's playing a fine game. Forrest is, in theory, playing a weaker game, but I'm not sure that's entirely indicative. He seems to be getting involved in these plays okay. At some point, I may want to have Tony not be as aggressive, just to, avoid overextending too much, especially as we get tired and mistakes get made. Oh, they just did 2 subs. Now, that's a good thing for us to consider making our own substitutes, because, again, you don't want to get overrun too badly. On the defensive situation, what are we looking like? Our defenders actually have a fair amount of energy, which is nice to see. We may want to pull Caleb Crane back a little bit. We're ahead. Last thing we want to do is just concede an early goal. I think I'm just going to put him back on support, just a little bit less aggressive. We still have the good defense in the middle. We still have their strikers relatively well pinned down. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. I'm gonna go back to that now. But I think overall it was a good option. Oh, free kick for our side. Other side gets the yellow. Is that the first yellow of the match? It is. Harkins with another. Is right on target. It is going to get us a corner out of this, which is nice. Craig Moore should be taking that. And I just have it on mixed stuff with no specific special instructions going on there. Ralston wins the race for the ball over to Doherty, who's able to keep control over it, but looks like nothing comes of it. Okay, now we're at 70 minutes, and there are some people getting tired. So Gary Harkins, I'm going to bring in Paul Kearney, who's an excellent player. I'm going to be very happy to bring you in. We're going to keep you in that sort of attacky role. I think I'm going to pull you back a little bit more to support over here. So again, a little bit less aggressive, but a little bit more balanced defense in the back there. No one else getting that tired. Ross Doherty would be the next one up. We could bring in Jamie Adams. Jamie Adams is more comfortable playing a bit further forward, though. It'd be like if we're replacing Alan Forrest. I thought... Oh, no, sorry. Jamie Adams, I'm wrong. He does like the middle bit. Is it just the role that Geegan is playing? Notice that Geegan's not on the ball-winning midfielder because I think he's not as comfortable further back. See, Doherty's actually more comfortable sitting further back in defense over here. Yeah, let's bring in Jamie Adams. That's going to be fine. And... Oh, it's because you're back here. Right, of course. Yeah. You're not as comfortable playing this far back, but I think we still want someone in this position. So despite that you're not as comfortable, Because, yeah, you're much happier playing a little further forward. Well, I suppose we've pulled back Kearney a bit. We've pulled back Crane a bit. You know what? That's probably okay. I'll switch Geegan over to the ball-winning midfielder role because that's actually what you're better at. And then Adams, you can play just a more generic central midfielder. Yeah, probably on defense. And actually, let me move... no, you know what? We'll leave it as is. That's going to be fine. Okay, so let's do that. So we are moving, more and more defensive, and that's true. On the other hand, again, with the counter tech, that's not necessarily in the world. Too bad Moore couldn't actually hold on to the ball there, but I'm not sure anything could have come of that. He was a little bit isolated regardless. Our possession's gotten really good. Actually, I guess it's always been good. The other thing I need to do, because I forget that it doesn't persist, is I may need to reset the opposition instruction after the substitutes. Indeed. So we've got some new strikers over here. Midfielder and... Oh, they've changed their position. They're playing a 3-4-3. Really? 3 strikers, which are all being marked. And then Russell and... Okay, Doyle's out. McLean over here has been pulled back. I'm not going to mark you anymore then, but I will close you down if you have the ball. Look at that. Interesting. It's not often you see like a big actual shift in the setup that much. So what does that imply for us? I think I'm actually okay. The fact that we've got that sort of halfback in there means we've got a stronger presence right in front of the net. And with the 3 strikers and no one playing super wide, it's actually probably okay. All right, I'm surprised he didn't let that be a corner. That seems odd to me because it might give us a chance to dump it. If Ralston can beat it in there, no, he can't. That's kind of unfortunate. And I guess we don't have super close down or tackling on Tidser here, so he's able to hold on to the ball at this point. But it's not like he can really set up something really aggressive. Everyone is marked over here in the middle. Those are all the strikers, although we do have Quiltongo moving forward over here. But he's going to be offside. Now that McLean's got possession, he's got to pull back. Well, there's another offside there for a second. Adams knocks the ball away. Crane sends it forward to Forrest. Excellent. We got a couple of strikers. Thomas is offside currently. There we go. Okay. Forrest held on to that for a really, really long time. A really, really long time. And why is that? Does have the dribble more. I guess that... And also has more risky passes, though, so... It's kind of interesting. Offside on the other side. Tony's getting pretty tired here. You see the lowest? No, he's not literally the lowest. And we don't have a super decent sub for you, so I think, Tony, you're going to stay doing what you're doing. Maybe we'll sub Alan Forrest here. I think the thing to do with that would be to move Kearney forward and then bring in Robbie Crawford in the middle over there. And I think that's going to be good. Again, we don't necessarily need to score like super... we're not super terrified about scoring. We don't necessarily need the freshest strikers. Woof. Although the midfielders do create a lot of opportunities, which is good, but I want to make sure that we have that slightly stronger defense going on here. I mean, I don't want to buckle down too much. I like... Woo! That's not good. That is, I'm going to say, extraordinarily bad, in fact. What a horrible, horrible development here. Getting a penalty. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Oh! Oh, my God! Yes! Yes! Oh, do him! I love you so much. I love you so much right now. I can't even tell you how happy I am. Oh, my God. I thought for sure that was going to be the equalizer. I thought for sure that was going to be the equalizer. And I mean, I can't yell at Geegan too much. He is, he is the ball-winning midfielder. He's supposed to tackle more. It is his job. He's good at it. Drawing fouls in the penalty box is really bad. But, that's kind of sort of what he's supposed to do. I could tell him not to, but we do need those tackles to happen. Still only 1 yellow card. So again, we're not facing the most aggressive referee. We're coming in at 20 fouls, though, so that's still a thing. But tackling a little bit harder is not the worst thing that could happen in general. It's mostly about a positional thing. That's a bit unfortunate. There was a lot of opportunity here for us to take the ball away from them, but Crane does wrestle it away, moves it up to Kearney, who's got a good passes. Both Thomas and Moore were well open. And that is the game, and again, we come away beating Morton 2-1, this time away. I'm thinking that's fantastic. In fact, I'm going to give my passion to there, looking extremely delighted, wonderful. I'm incredibly happy with that. That is fan-frickin-tastic. Edge out opponents in close encounter. It certainly was, but this keeps us really solidly in third place over here. Again, we're only about a third of the way through the through our actual season here, but this is fantastic at 20 points. Again, our goal was merely to avoid relegation. Well, we're going to do a hell of a lot more than that. In fact, I think my goal was to avoid automatic relegation. Even if I got into the relegation sort of playoff, I don't know if that would be the right term for it, and in fact been relegated, I still would have met my goals, I think. I don't know, maybe I promised not to get relegated at all. So we would have to go down here and then win that playoff, which is very scary. This is feeling very good. There's still a lot of room. 20 points is far from a guarantee of not ending up 9th or 10th. Although, I mean, it's unlikely that we wouldn't get any wins or any draws. I do think, at this point, I think it's very unlikely that we wouldn't end up the season with at least, say, 30 points. And let's assume, well, at this point, what's our ratio? We are averaging slightly less than 2 points per game, right? We get 20 points after 11 games. Let's assume it's worse than that. Let's assume we only end up averaging about 1.5 points for the rest of the season. So we've got 25 games left to play. So 25 times 1.5, not 225. 25 times 1.5 is 37.5 on top of our existing 20, which gets us at 57-ish points overall. And I find it very hard to believe that that's not a very, very good outcome. Am I thinking this right? We got 36 games overall. Yeah, 25 left. And yeah, if we average, even if we just average 1 point, right? Which is to say we win every third game, or, maybe we even win fewer than every third game, but we throw in a few draws in there, right? That would be one way to average 1 point for the next 25 games overall, which gives us 45 points. And I'm not sure. I'd have to look at, it'd be nice if I could look at previous seasons in here, but I'm willing to bet that 45 points probably lands you somewhere around 7th place or something like that. So that should still be a very, very comfortable position. And who knows? We may even be able to stay within the top 4 over here. It's a tight race. We're only 1 point behind Falkirk, which is amazing. They've beat us twice. That's not true. They've only beat us once in the league. They beat us once in one of the cups. So they only beat us once. We're only 1 point behind them. Our goal differential is significantly worse than both Falkirk and Wraith, though, which makes draws kind of annoying. But our goal differential is better than St. Mirren, and we're 6 points ahead of them. Right? So that's sort of the thing we have to look at over here. That keeps us in the top 4 relatively comfortably, at least for the foreseeable future. It'll be interesting to see where we're standing, say at about 20 games played, right? We'll be slightly past the halfway point. How does that feel? Where are we? Can we really make a run for the Premier League? That would be insane. That would be insane. I think it's too early to think about that. I'm still happy to say, let's try to work towards avoiding relegation. In fact, I'd be quite happy at this point to say, it'd be nice to end up in the top half. Of course, in the top half would mean 5th and higher. If we end up 5th, it'll be a little bit sad to miss this playoff. It would be fun to be in this playoff, probably not win it, because we'd have to beat 3, say the current situation, right? Hibernian goes up automatically. We have to do a playoff against Falkirk, Wraith, and one of the Premier League teams, and we have to beat them all, and that's a big ask. But for now, I'm much happier. I was feeling very depressed recently. 2 wins in a row like this, they're not huge wins, but they are wins. And again, a lot of our losses, we only lost by a point here. Went into extra time. It was a very close fought game. This could have gone the other way easily. This could have gone the other way. These 2 draws we could have won. We should have won, I say. This one here could have easily been another draw. All of a sudden, our league status looks amazing. For basically a couple of coin flips here and there, we could have an almost perfect record. Hibernian, no, I mean, that we got legit crushed there. Of course, certainly the Celtic game as well, legit crushed. Losing against Wraith here is kind of disappointing. Really, really sad, because we're ahead of him in the league. We should be doing better than that. But again, with every game, I think we learn a little bit. I start to understand a little bit more about the flow of the positions and how to counter things. And I'm still having a great time here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.